Cougar Academy Algebra 2B, and welcome to Lesson 6.2. We are going to be graphing polynomial functions. So that is our essential question. How do you graph polynomial functions? And the key thing is we're also going to be finding a few things such as the real zeros, and we're going to be approximating those. Some key things for today, so I'm going to show you some different methods. We haven't done a lot of graphing. Please be sure to have your graphing calculator ready. If you don't have one, I'll also show you another website. But we're going to start here with graphing each function. Now, they're going to look a little different, so it's kind of exciting. These are new graphs for you to check out. So right off the bat, all right, we are just going to, and there's really no easy way to do this by hand. Just when in doubt, graph it out, use your calculator. So we're just going to type in x to the third under the y equals. Plus 2x squared, okay, minus 4x, and minus 5. All right, we're going to hit graph. Now, if your window is not looking like this, you can always hit zoom, 6, and that'll always take you back to the regular old window. So we have a new graph here. It's kind of curvy, and there's some key things here. So the thing to note is that we want some nice points to plot. So don't just go, whoop, okay, that's what it looks like. No, we want it to be nice here. So the best thing to do is really to go to the table. Okay, and we want to get at least 5 nice points here, a little bit more perhaps for our table here. So some good points to look for. We see here there's about a peak. Whoops. There's another peak here, and we can kind of look for those, one by using trace or going to the table. So I see at about -1, 2, there's a peak. So let's see what our calculator says. So if we scroll up and down, there's our different values. So I see at -2, we're at the point 3. Okay, so we have the coordinate -2, 3. So our table, these are the x's and these are the y's. -1, 0. We also have, so it's very important to get these zeros. We do want those. 1, -6. And maybe some other points, 2, 3. And what else can fit possibly on our graph here? -3 and -2. We'll plot those points. So -2. Up 3, boop, boop, boop. -1 to 0. 1 to -6. Over 1, -6. 2 to 3. And -3 to -2. Now, if you just plot those points, and let's also get, always try and include 0. 0, -5. Let's get that in there as well. So 0 to -5. Now, we want this to look nice. So you can't just really connect whatever dots you want. It has a nice little path here, and if we notice, it goes up, comes down, goes back on up. Something like that there. Okay? Now, some things that we really do want to find. Approximate each real zero. Zeros are where the graph crosses the x-axis. So to find zeros, you need to go to second trace. Second trace. While you're there, you're going to hit number 2, okay, for 0. And then, depending on where your cursor is, you want to move it so that it's around that point there. So it's going to ask for the left, so you want to be to the left of that point. You hit enter. And then if you want to move it up, you're going to be to the right of that point. And you hit enter one more time, and it's going to narrow it down there for you. So I see this here, this y is e to the -12. That's just a funky way to say 0. X is 1.79. So this first 0, okay, is at about 1.79 comma 0. Again, this 1 times e to the negative 12 is just a very small number. So that's the first one. Now you also need to find these other two, okay? So second trace, I'm going to go to the 0, I'll do it again. It asks to be to the left of this point. So we're just going to move it a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. Narrow it down. Negative 1 and 0, and we already found that one. So negative 1 to 0 is the second one. And let's try and find the third one. Whoops, second trace. 0 to the left. And to the right, to the right. Okay, and negative 2.79, comma 0 is this one. Okay. Some other things that you should always plot are any peaks, so maximum values, and that's the tip tops, okay, or minimum values, and those are the bottom points. So we did get both of those, max and min, well, max and min. So those are good to plot as well. You can find those in your calculator by doing a similar function. Trace, if we want to find the minimum, so that would be this value over here, the little valley. We just want to set up our bounds so that they kind of go over that minimum. So we see our minimum is at 0.6 repeating, y is negative 0.68. So that is a good thing to kind of throw in there. This isn't exactly our minimum, but it's at 0.6 comma negative 6.48. The maximum would be this value to the left. Boop, 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 boop. And we go to the left, we go to the right, hit enter again, and negative 2, it's pretty much negative 2 comma 3 is our peak. Okay, this is graphing calculator heavy stuff, I understand that, and it can be kind of tricky. So I'm going to show you another way online that you can use, but you should be comfortable. You have to be able to use a graphing calculator if you plan to take SATs and other type of structured tests. So graphing calculator, trace, practice that function, but I'm going to show you a shortcut for the other things in the future. So again, make sure that you are graphing the max, the mins, and the zeros. So a few things with that. Okay, for the next example, so let's look at this one. So few things, we're going to have to plot any maximum values, any minimum values, zeros, and it's a good idea just to kind of see what's going on. So this time, let's go to Desmos.com. Okay, Desmos.com, www.desmos.com. Here's what it will look like. Explore math with Desmos. And you just hit start graphing. It's going to do some funky things for you. Wonderful. Okay, now let's remember what our equation was. It was negative x to the third plus 4x squared minus 5. So we're going to type that in there. Negative x to the third plus 4x squared. And you could do the caret and then minus 5. Boom. There it is. Nice and plotted for you. Now the nice thing about Desmos is there's no tracing required. You can simply, so remember, we need a few things here. We need a max, we need the min, we need the zeros. If you simply just click where you think the zeros are, so there's a 0 right there. Boom. Negative 1 comma 0. Let's plot that. So negative 1 to 0. There is one of our zeros. Okay, looking back. A minimum. So here we have a minimum. It's our little valley, negative or 0, negative 5. Okay, so let's plot that one. 0 to negative 5. That's our minimum. A maximum would be here, 2.667. So the best we can about 2.667, 4.4. So 2, this would be 3.6, and it was at 4.4. So again, I'm not looking for absolute perfection. 2.6, 4.4, but I am looking that you get these values close, if anything. Now another thing, another 0, so we have another 0, 1.382. 1.382, so over 1, 382, about there. And the last 0 at about 3.618, 3.618, okay. Another nice thing is we can get other points. You can just kind of scroll up and down and see any other nice points on the graph to plot. But this gives you a general idea. It also makes it very easy, to find the zeros and the maximums. Once you have all those things plotted, just go ahead and you can connect them the best you can. And again, I'm mainly looking for these things, and your graph should be close. I'm not looking for perfection, but it should be close, not just running through. Okay? Now, something to the 4th power. Oh my. Okay, so let's use good old Desmos. X to the 4th minus 2x to the 3rd minus 3. So again, we're going to need maxes, minimums, and zeros. Okay? X to the 4th, x to the 3rd, negative 2x to the square. So let's type it in there. Minus 2x squared minus 3. Not at. Boop. Okay, is that the right graph? Yes, it is. So funky looking here. How about that? Okay, so let's just notice a few things. So we have our first 0 at negative 2.195. So let's plot that. Negative 2, there's 3.1, about there. So negative 2.195 is one of our zeros. Let's just follow that. Here is our first minimum. So minimum is again at the bottom here. Negative 4.4, negative 1.443, and negative 5.8, about. So negative 1 and negative 5.8. About there. So negative 1.4 and negative 5.8. So notice here it goes up and it comes back down. So here's the maximum actually. It's just our little bump here. So 0, negative 3. That's actually a max. 0, negative 3. So over 0 to negative 3. Another minimum. So some of these graphs go up and down more than once. 0.693 and negative 3. So another minimum. So 0.69 and about negative 3 point, what was it? 3. So 0.69, negative 3.3, goes back down. Okay, and it's going to come right back up to a 1.429, comma 0, that's another 0. And we'll plot that here, 1.4, about, and plot. So again, once you have those graphed, you can connect them, up, down, up, and that is approximated the best you can do. So please use Desmos, be neat with these graphs. You can certainly use a graphing calculator, but I have no problem with you using Desmos. Our next one, so same graph, similar, just different coefficients. So give it a try on your own, okay? Of course I'll go through it. we're just going to change it here in Desmos to minus x to the third minus 4x squared. And I believe it's plus 5. Okay, so another funky looking one. But again, Desmos makes it so nice that you can find all these things. So max, mins, and zeros. Let's see what all of them are. The maxes. So let's actually start over here. It's going down, down, down. Here's our first minimum, negative 1.0 and 2.9. So as close as you can. It's a minimum, negative 1.0. I think it's like 0.8. So, and the y coordinate 2.9. And again, you could be close, it's no big deal. 2.9, so almost 3. Then we have a max at 0.5. Okay. Over 0, up 5. We have another min. Actually, it's going to cross the x-axis first. So 1.141 is our first 0. 1.141. Down to our next minimum, 1.838. 1.838, comma, and a y coordinate for that one, negative 3.3. Again, as close as you can. And then it comes back up past 2, 2.32 is a 0. And just connect it best you can. It goes up, down, down, up. Looks kind of funky, but that's it there. So I will be checking to see that your graphs are close. I'd like you to be as close as you can with the maxes and the zeros and the mins. Make sure you get as many as you can. And just take a look at the graphs and do your best on the practice. So nice job. I know it's a little different. Try out on the graphing calculator. But good stuff, guys, and good luck.